Fancy intro music, yeah! Woo! Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel where this morning we're taking a look at what you should be looking for if you're wanting to go into 4T plus space. Going really up there, up in the levels, man. And don't worry, if you're a lower level player saying, hey, I'm nowhere near level 39, why should I worry about it? We'll go over some helpful tools and tips that you should look to be trying to do, even if you're not there yet. Things to help make the game easier for you and prepare for later on, because this game is all about planning. You want to be the most efficient that you can be to get up to where you want to go without having to drop mucho dinero, because, well, I mean, Scopely probably wants you to do that. I'm just saying there's other ways. So yeah, whether you're level 19, 39, it's good to start knowing this information to plan for it, because if you really want to excel in this game, planning is big. So what we're going to do is take a look at the list of requirements that I've set for myself to go from 39 to 40 plus. And I'm also going to take DJ's list, because DJ made this ascension a few weeks ago. Now DJ got to a pretty high power level, a little bit over 23 million as a level 39. Essentially maxed out a lot of stuff. Now I'm sitting at 18.5, as you can see above, which is a pretty nice gain, because if you remember just 2 months ago, back in May, I was at 16.3. So I moved up into a top alliance to really focus on territories, and I've really grown in strength because of that. My ships really haven't changed that much, with the exception of the ISS Jelly. This pretty little, oh, there it is. This right here has gotten much stronger, but it's even at tier 4. It's still not the reason for my growth. But let's start with the requirements that we have. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them both on screen side by side. You'll have my list that I'm looking at and then DJ's list. And there are some things that are slightly different, and that's okay. We had kind of different goals. And honestly, what DJ ended up doing, I'm probably not going to try to reach as high as he did, just because I don't have as much as he did in terms of resources, time management, etc. So let's start with some of the top ones where you actually found that we agree. Steel. Now, for me, it was a combination of both. I want to have raw and tokens worth about 35 billion par steel, because like DJ, when I level into the 40s, I want to just go all the way to 41 or 42 if I can, but 41 at the minimum. And having a stockpile of 35 billion TRID is going to help you get there and then make the decision, do I want to press forward? Because you'll have the possibility of doing that as well, depending on where you get your research, which we'll talk about here in a second. The next thing that I want to do, and DJ, scrap a Mayflower. This is to help buy primes that you may not have had already, as well as get your ISS Jelly up and going. Now, at level 39, you'll have the Parabellum event, huge payout coming twice this month, and the ISS Jelly Brawl event. Both of these giving you a lot of the resources that you need for explorers in 4-star, whether it be the ISS Jelly or if you use this to save for your Valdor, if that's the route that you choose to go. I've made, since the last time I scrapped the Mayflower on this video, I've already scrapped a Legionary, and I'm building another one now, and I've not gone and bought a pack that gave me uncommon. I haven't done that. The only thing I've bought is one battle pass, so that's not giving me all that. So anyway, then I've also want to max and scrap 2 Legionaries. I've already done one, and now I'm working on building my second. It's currently being built right now in the background, and you can see it in my shipyard. Now, DJ wanted to build and scrap 1 Legionary. Now, just as much as you might put these forward to things like your ISS Jelly, for me, it's all about putting them into research. And one of the researchers that you're looking at, think of something like Stella Efficiency that you're going to want to go for. The raw prime for 3-star ore, getting an extra pull in so that you can move through this list faster. Next thing for me, maxed enterprise. That's something that I wanted. DJ's was a tier 8 enterprise. Now, maxed enterprise for me was just kind of easy. Honestly, back 2019, when this was account still growing, I got a nice infusion from the overlords to work on that. Now, that didn't help for some of the other ships, but it certainly helped for the enterprise, so that was kind of a gimme, sort of cheeky. But that's also why I had goals for the Augur and the D4. My Augur wanted to get to tier 7. I got to tier 8. And then the D4, I wanted to get to tier 7. It's not there yet. It's currently sitting at tier 5. So I need to work on doing that for my personal goals, because I wanted more PvP ships, because that's probably my favorite aspect of the game. Remember, I put in personal choice though, because it's really up to you. You don't have to do that. That's just something that I wanted. You can take one epic ship up there and be perfectly fine. DJ I'll do it 2. I'm going with 3 just because I'm a collector. And if it takes me longer, I'm okay with that as long as I can do it efficiently and have fun doing it. But probably not taking it to that max level just because there's so many more rares and uncommons needed to do that. Next thing for me was having a tier 2 Franklin A. I'm saving tiers, and one of the things that you're doing with a lot of this, and one of the reasons that I'm focusing on all these ships, is I'm making sure to pair these upgrades with leaderboards. That's how I got Picard. That's hopefully how I'm getting Riker. It's how I've gotten other officers in the past, is pairing these with solo leaderboards. It's actually how I got the ISS Jelly, because I focus on making sure that everything I'm doing has a dual purpose. That's why you have so many ships on here for me. Next up is USS Discovery Summoning Unlocked. Still haven't done that one. Something I've really been slacking on. I apologize. DJ did it though. Then I wanted a Max Vidar. Very easy to do. Make sure that you're working on that. I feel like you should do that, especially with players now. You get your Vidar at 25 through event stores and stuff. You can have that thing maxed by 28. So definitely important though. Will help you with all the faction credits you need to do a lot of the stuff that I'm doing. Next, I had all buildings level 39, not including the generators starting at C. So you want the top 2 rows done, but the C, D, E, all these, none of these are really as important. So I have a long way to go on that. That's one area I'm definitely behind on. Now buildings, I've started to get mother things at 39. I've got my docks at 38. Need to get my ACC to 39. It's currently at 38. All these things are very important to do, and that's something that DJ did. He maxed out every building except for the C and D generators at 39. One of the reasons that you saw his power jump up so significantly. Now I get into the very important part, research. Now, some of the research between me and DJ will differ a bit. He is a huge Stella fan, so he likes the Outlaw research tree a lot. I am not a big Stella fan, even though I do like the Outlaw research tree. Simply the amount of time and grind that's in it, I find that for most players, especially free to play, it's so much time consumption that it's going to take you a long time to work through this. Now, that being said, and this is a combination of 1, me not giving it enough attention, and 2, alliances that I've been in at times not having this as a focus. My tree is underwhelming. This is the worst tree I have, and this is something that I have to work on before I get to 40 plus, because there's efficiencies in here you want to work on, like the crystal research efficiency, the crystal building efficiency. One thing that me and DJ definitely harped on is anything that says efficiency, anything that says pure, anything that's going to lower your cost, you want to do before going into the 40s. Now, an example of me doing that is if you look at my territory, I've actually maxed that out. So look here, research, efficient ship upgrades, efficient constructions. This is 6 out of 12. That's as high as it can go for a level 39. Now I'm also working on that over here, where you've got advanced research, effective construction, which is just building speed, but I'm working on that too. Optimized construction for par steel, titanium to lithium. You want to get that up and going. Optimized research. These are all things that I'm working on maxing for that purpose. Come into your station tree. Remember that you've got pure titanium, pure dilithium, things that you need to work on. Mine are 8 out of 10. Not there yet. Got to do that. You've got research expert, which is a speed thing. Maybe you'll want to do. Once again, one thing that held me back a little bit is I waited on so many of these simply because I wanted to focus on spinning these during leaderboards because they start taking uncommon. But now at this point, I just kind of need to start spinning them. I've been saving them too long. I just need to start doing it. Then you get to things like this, building efficiency. So things like a par steel hold, I would normally not do. I only do so that I can do these type of upgrades. Another thing that DJ listed that I think is a really good thing to list is the specific researches when it comes to the territories, also the factions in terms of the galaxy tree. And I wanted to point them out real quick before I forget them. Oh, by the way, here's more pure parts. You want to have those done. You want to have these apprentices. So this is something that DJ focused on that I actually hadn't even thought of, so I wanted to throw that in here. Faction rep, apprentices, get these as high as you want for the whatever factions that you're going to be grinding in the 40s. If you're going to dual grind, make sure that you're picking the ones that you want. So for me, that's going to be Klingon and Romulan, so I can get more points for those when doing the grinding. And then for the reverse, whatever it is that you grind with the most, so if it is your enterprise, then you want to upgrade the devotion that corresponds with that. So make sure you're focusing on these things. Pure crystal, pure gas, pure ore, definitely must-haves. All the things that have to do with efficiency need to be upgraded. Those are killer. Away missions, I feel like this is something that you really want to max out for your tier. Something that I've started as well. your overcharges, your weapons, all your extractors here, things that are good, maybe not focusing necessarily on extractors, but things to start working on. Notoriety, something else to consider. Combat tree, once again, anything to do with combat, yes. If it has to do with the station, no. I leave that alone. Anything to do with PvE stuff, yes. Anything that have to do with just random modulated federation, is it worth it? For events, sure. And then here's some other thing. Here's one that was on mine that's not on DJ's because his officers just are a little bit more ahead. One thing that I have is I want 15 at a minimum max rare officers to be farming transporter patterns. I am sitting at about 10 of them. Now I've got others that are getting close, but if you sort by group, you see I've got the main sets done. Something I'll tell you that you want to do, max out these so that when you turn in your faction credits every day for working on those officers, you can start pulling nothing but transporter patterns. See, you'll do the same thing with the Klingons, the Romulans if you can. One of the importance of being tri-faction lot, which is something that you want to do by level 39. So there's a lot to go through here. And this video is already running a little bit long, but these are some of the key points that we both hit on, and I've got the list here. For me, it's all about efficiency research. I will not necessarily max out all the research that DJ did, just because there's some trees that for me don't have as much of importance, but anything that is listed efficiency or pure, those are some huge focus points for me that I want to make sure I max out. And then anything combat research related when it comes to ships. Now, there are some other things that I simply will not be putting a lot into. You know, even though it makes my Stella way better, I'm not dumping a lot into things like Stella weaponry. However, I will progress with the tree to do the efficiency researches. And then this is one I have not done yet because I'm saving up the research credits, but this is huge. And you want to do prime Stella efficiency. One of the reasons to max out and scrap that legionary. But anyway, this video is running a little bit long, but this is a kind of like a little checklist for you to go through with two of the biggest content creators in this game of what one of them did to go 40 plus and what one of them is using to go 40 plus. I plan on being around 20 million power. And for reference, let me show you what the top alliance on my server is when it comes to that for their members' power level. So let's look at the Iron Armada. They're the #1 alliance on the server. Power-wise, here we go. Now let's go start looking at these 39s. And you'll see that they've got, the first 39 we have on the list is CTK at 20.5. Then you got Pup at 20.3. You've got Kindness at 19.7. That's kind of what I'm going for. Whereas you've also got the 41s like DJ at 22, 23. So you can definitely make it happen. Just work on those buildings, work on researches, and let me know what you think. Comment section below. Like the video if you haven't already. If you got questions about this process, because a 13-minute video can't cover everything, drop it down in the comment section below. Just like it says here, leave a comment. We'll definitely answer it. Live long and prosper. Stay safe, other Space Cowboys. Like I said, like the video. Looks like this. Hit the subscribe button. And as always, hit the Discord. Join it if you haven't already. We'll see you on the next one. Deuces. That's me. An even better outro than the intro. Yeah! Woo!